Dear soul, take a quiet moment and allow your heart to listen. The angels are near you, surrounding you with their soft light, and they are gently connecting to your energy. They want to show you something important, something your spirit has been sensing but has not fully understood. You have been wondering in silence whether the person you care for, the one who lives in your heart, has spoken about you to one of your relatives. And if they have, what exactly did they say? The angels confirm that yes, this person has spoken of you, and their words were not careless or casual. They were filled with weight, truth, and the kind of honesty that comes when the soul can no longer hold its feelings in. The angels show us that this person, someone who once made your world feel alive even in silence, opened their heart in a moment that was not planned. It happened like a wave, sudden and unstoppable. They spoke of you to a relative, and their words carried admiration, respect, and recognition. They did not describe you as ordinary, nor did they speak of you like someone from the past who no longer matters. Instead, they described you as someone whole, someone who radiates completeness and does not chase love out of desperation, but naturally shines with love. They said that you have turned your wounds into wisdom, your silence into strength, and your past into a purpose that inspires. This person told their relative that you are different, but not in the way the world often uses that word. They meant that you are different in a way that stays in the heart long after the moment has passed. They said you feel like the final chapter of a long story they didn't even realize they had been writing all along. The angels say that when your person spoke these words, they were not just talking idly. They were confessing something sacred, that you are the one who awakened something deep inside them, something they could not put away no matter how hard they tried. The angels also show us that their words reached the heart of the relative who was listening. That relative felt something stir inside them too. They began to see you through your person's eyes, not just as someone beautiful or strong, but as someone who carries a sacred wholeness that cannot be copied or replaced. What was spoken of you is now echoing in their family's memory. Some are silently beginning to wonder why your presence still lingers. Others are starting to compare every new face to the unique light you carry. Without even realizing it, your person's confession has set ripples in motion. But most importantly, dear soul, this was not just a moment of admiration. It was a moment of awe. Your person admitted in their own way that while they may have met many people, only one made them feel like they had finally come home. And that one is you. This realization may not yet be fully clear to them, but it is growing, and the angels are guiding it forward. You may have wondered if your absence meant you were forgotten. You may have asked yourself if silence meant that you had been erased. But the angels assure you no. In the quiet moments where no one was watching, your name was spoken like a prayer, not out of duty, not out of habit, but out of the deep need to explain why no one else has ever felt the same. They are beginning to understand that what they feel for you is not just ordinary love. It is something eternal, a soul memory, a connection that feels as if you have walked together in lifetimes before and were meant to meet again now. They may not yet have the words to explain it, but the angels reveal that their soul knows. You bring them completion. You are like the missing note in their song, the final brushstroke in their unfinished painting. And though they may sometimes pretend they are fine without you, their actions tell another story. For when they speak to others, they reveal the truth they cannot yet bring themselves to say directly to you, that you are the one who awakened their spirit and gave meaning to their journey. The angels want you to see how sacred this is. To be spoken of with such reverence is a reflection of the light you have built through your healing and your resilience. You never forced yourself into anyone's life, and yet your memory lives stronger than those who shouted for attention. This person is now facing their own emotional mirror. They are realizing that what they admire in you is also what they long for within themselves. Inner balance, peace in the middle of chaos, and a sense of wholeness that does not beg, but instead gives freely. The conversation they had with their relative was more than words. It was a turning point for their soul. The angels show us that even if you have not heard from them directly, something important is happening behind the scenes. Timelines are shifting, hearts are softening, and fear is being removed. Slowly but surely, this connection is moving again. Your person is beginning to dream, not of closure that ends things, but of a new chapter. They are dreaming of speaking honestly, bravely, and simply saying, I told someone about you because I couldn't hold it in anymore. That day is not far away. The angels ask you to trust in divine timing, for the silence is not emptiness. It is preparation. The words spoken of you have already reached the spiritual realm, and they are shaping the path ahead. The angels show that what your person said happened quickly, like lightning cracking across a calm sky. One moment everything was quiet, and the next your name came pouring out. They may not have planned to speak so much, but once they began, they could not stop. They admitted that you made them feel alive again, as if something long asleep inside them had awakened. They confessed that you changed the way they understood love and destiny. They said your presence lingers long after you've gone, and your energy imprints itself not just in memory, but in the very air around them. This was not small talk. It was a divine release. For too long they had held back, convincing themselves that time would fade their feelings. Instead, time only made them stronger. And in that moment, their truth spilled out. You are not just someone they once liked. You are still the one who makes them question everything they thought they knew. They admitted that no one else has ever made them feel the way you did, not because of what you did, but because of who you are. They said you see people with the eyes of the soul, beyond masks and roles. And for the first time, they let someone else see that your presence still lives within them. The angels say this confession has started a ripple effect. Those who once dismissed your connection are beginning to wonder if you are more important than they believed. Your person's words are filled with longing, reverence, and a raw love that doesn't ask for logic or permission. Their family is beginning to sense it too. And though your person may still be caught in distractions and responsibilities, the angels show that something is speeding up. The truth is surfacing. Delays are ending, and the energy is moving toward you. The angels want you to understand that this confession is not just about emotions. It is also about respect. Your person described you not only as kind or beautiful, but as powerful. Powerful in the way you carry yourself, powerful in the way you rise without applause, powerful in the way you do not beg to be chosen but simply live as you are. They admitted that this scared them at first because it made them see how much of their own life was built on performance and duty. But with you, they saw something real. They saw love that does not control but builds. They saw the truth they had been running from. The angels say their confession has already changed something in their family's heart. You are no longer remembered as someone from the past. You are being honored as someone who shaped their soul. Even those who once doubted your importance are beginning to see why you linger in their memory. You became the quiet standard by which they now measure others. Dear soul, the angels ask you to rest in this truth. You were not forgotten. You were not erased. You were spoken of with reverence and named as the one who brought both vulnerability and strength to their life. This is only the beginning of transformation. Your person is softening, opening and being called into alignment. They are being asked to lead not with control, but with honesty, courage, and love. And though their voice may not yet reach you directly, it will. For once a heart begins to speak truth, it cannot return to silence. You were remembered not for perfection, but for your quiet grace, your strength, your fire, and your ability to see without judgment. You were remembered as the one who made them feel safe enough to be real. That is love in its truest form. And the angels assure you that this awakening will continue to unfold until it draws them closer to you again, not out of guilt or nostalgia, but from the deep desire to finally live in truth, with love, with you. Dear soul, lean in gently and let your heart listen. The angels gather close once again, holding you with tenderness and guiding you deeper into truth. They remind you that the story unfolding in your life is not random, and the signs that keep repeating are not mistakes. Just as in the previous message, where your person's heart was revealed through the quiet words they spoke to someone close, this message continues that divine thread. It shows you that the whispers of love, remembrance, and awakening are still moving in their soul, shaping their choices, and stirring their emotions in ways even they cannot hide anymore. The angels reveal that the one you once looked at with quiet hope, the one who once carried so much mystery in their eyes, has been carrying a storm of thoughts about you. For a long time, they tried to silence those thoughts, convincing themselves that time and distance would erase them. But instead, those thoughts grew stronger. They have now reached a threshold where looking back no longer brings them peace, and looking forward feels impossible without first facing the truth that lives between you. In a moment of honesty, one that surprised even them, they spoke to a relative about you. This was not the first time, as the angels have already shown you in the earlier message. Before, they spoke your name in awe, admitting how much your presence had touched them. Now, the angels show us that this conversation went deeper. It was not confusion or casual talk. It was deliberate, almost like the soul itself pushed them to release what had been kept locked inside. They admitted that you were not just someone they liked, but someone who made them stop and question the very path they were walking. They confessed that meeting you made them pause in ways they had never paused before. And in that pause, they began to see that the life they had always accepted might not be the life they were meant to live. The angels say this moment was sacred. Your person shared that when they were with you, they felt something awaken in them. You made them feel alive in a way their routine life never had. They told their relative that you stirred their hidden self, the part that longed for more than duty, more than control, more than just the familiar safety of what others expected of them. You made them believe in possibility again. Your presence reminded them that life is not just about surviving. It is about living fully, loving deeply, and daring to choose what makes the heart race. When they spoke these words, their relative felt the shift. It wasn't gossip. It wasn't idle daydreaming. It was a soul admitting, perhaps for the first time out loud, that you had changed the way they saw themselves and their future. They admitted that ever since meeting you, they've carried a quiet but persistent feeling that their story with you isn't finished. They feel, even now, that a part of their future still stretches out towards you, waiting like a map that has yet to be drawn. The angels show us that this confession did not come from impulse. Your person is someone who weighs decisions carefully. They plan, they consider, they observe. Yet when it comes to you, there is no calculation strong enough to silence what they feel. They told their relative that there is a difference between someone you simply like and someone who moves your entire being. And you, dear soul, were the latter. You stirred the part of them that had gone quiet. You reawakened dreams they had set aside for practicality. You made them remember what it feels like to choose not out of fear, but out of love. Now, they are no longer able to silence that longing. They are standing at the edge of their known world, asking themselves if the life they have built can ever make space for the love they felt when they were with you. The relative who listened could hear the yearning in their voice. They saw the softness in their eyes when your name was spoken. They noticed how the memory of you created a hush in the air, as though something sacred had entered the room. There was no bitterness in their words, only longing, the ache of almost, the ache of unfinished, the ache of realizing too late what their heart had always known. They even confessed that in moments of decision, they still find themselves wondering what you would think, how you would feel, whether you would silently approve or guide them. They revisit your laughter in their mind. They carry the echo of your absence in their days. The angels want you to see that this energy is not stuck. It is moving. Your person is not remembering you out of nostalgia alone. They are speaking of you because your presence still influences their choices, still shapes the direction of their soul. They may not yet know how to bridge the distance between you. They may still feel afraid of the vulnerability it would take to reach out. But the angels assure you that their spirit is restless. The truth is becoming louder within them, and it will not be silenced for much longer. This is not only about love in the romantic sense. This is about alignment. Your person is beginning to understand that to ignore you is to ignore a part of themselves. To walk away from you is to walk away from the life their soul truly desires. You are not just someone they once cared about. You are the mirror reflecting their deeper truth. You are the lighthouse guiding them from the safety of the shore into the unknown waters of real love. The angels say your person now stands with one foot in the past and one foot in the future. They are holding your memory like a compass. Your name rises in their thoughts like a star guiding them forward. They are contemplating everything, the comfort of what they know, the call of what they long for. What they admitted to their relative is only the beginning of what they are now admitting to themselves. That you were not just a passing moment in their life. You were the doorway to a different kind of future. The angels wrap you in their embrace as you hear this. They want you to understand that you were never just a memory. You are still a living possibility in their heart. The words they spoke have already planted seeds of change within them. And as time moves forward, those seeds will grow, perhaps slowly, perhaps hesitantly, but always with your name guiding them like a light. The angels also show that in this most recent conversation, your person's words carried a softer energy. They were not dramatic or exaggerated. They were pure. They described you as someone who carries life in your spirit, someone who brings calm simply by existing, someone whose laughter brings light to dark corners without even trying. They called you nurturing, magnetic, almost otherworldly. They admitted that you awakened something within them that they had buried under years of duty and expectation. They said you made them believe in gentleness again, and that with you, they felt safe enough to be their true, unfiltered self. Their relative heard this and felt the truth of it. They began to see you in a new light too, perhaps before they misunderstood you or questioned your presence. But now they realize that you are not just someone their loved one once liked. You are the one who made them feel most alive, the one who continues to echo in their heart. And now your person finds themselves in sacred discomfort, because once they spoke these truths aloud, something shifted, memories reopened, longings resurfaced. Questions they had avoided began pressing at their heart. Why did they turn away from the only soul who made them feel safe? Why did they bury the tenderness instead of nurturing it? And most of all, Is there still time to return to it? The angels say that your person is beginning to realize that love does not need to be chaotic to be powerful. It can be quiet, steady, and true, like the love you gave. They are awakening not only to their feelings for you, but to the truth of what real love is meant to be. Dear soul, the angels now ask you to hold your head high, not in pride, but in the quiet confidence of someone who knows their worth. You did not chase. You did not beg. You let go when you had to, but your love remained honest. And now that love is echoing back through conversations, through memories, through a heart that still speaks your name when no one else is listening. This is not the end of your story. This is the beginning of a return, a sacred realignment. The person you loved is awakening, not just to you, but to themselves. And as they continue to listen to the truth within, the angels will guide their steps closer to you. Until then, hold yourself like the sacred soul you are. Your worth has been seen, your impact has been felt, and your name is still being spoken with reverence in the quiet spaces where truth finally has the courage to rise.